Hi, I'm Captain Zeus. We ended up not doing a intro, incidentally, for this episodes of the podcast. So this is kind of like the pseudo intro. I'm joined by the usual co-guests, which is Novaburst, The Voices, and Panda. We're coming back with the podcast. We're trying to do more episodes, and we will be doing this every other Wednesday. We will be posting this on YouTube as well as Spotify and other places that you can listen to the podcast. So feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as all of our other social media at Block Party Fun to stay up to date on when we post and where. Thank you guys so much for watching the video or listening to this, wherever you guys are listening to the podcast. And I hope you guys have a great day. See ya. All right, so we can just go ahead and just dive into it, or we can actually just keep going.
You can
I
you can
can,
hear me, right?
yeah, I can hear you. I can make
Okay,
us
for
an
sure.
intro later, to be honest. What do you
Whatever.
guys?
I'm
You guys want to just keep
I'm cool
going?
with whatever.
Yeah, it don't matter to me.
All right, let's just keep going. So Marvel Phase 4 is it's coming to an end.
Hmm.
Um, Thor just came out. What was it, like a month or two ago, right? No,
Yes.
last July. Um, I'll say my opinion first, and then I'll let everybody kind of say their things. Okay, and we're not going to go too much into the spoilers for those that may not have seen it. But I thought this movie was going to be an 8 or a 9 out of 10, with Christian Bale coming in as a villain, who's a great actor, with Natalie Portman coming back as Jane Foster Thor, which that's so cool. We get to see some more of the gods, in the mythos. That's
Hmm.
awesome. And then when I watched the movie, because I watched it with my sister, as I told you guys earlier, it's funny, right? It's Marvel's trend. I was talking to Nova about this earlier today. Their new trend is to make things funny, which isn't an issue most of the time. But this movie should not have been like that. It was funny, and that's fine. But the story with Gore is revenge. That's kind of
Hmm.
supposed to be it, um, which is not how it ended up being because he didn't have his revenge. Honestly, like I said, not trying to go too much into spoilers or anything, but the CGI was also terrible, which we'll go over that in another episode. The story felt rushed, and I thought Gore's motive was fine until the end because he didn't actually achieve what it is he was setting out to achieve, or maybe his original intention wasn't said. Like maybe they cut that because I was so confused because like what he said. Spoiler alert, real quick, guys. He brought his daughter back, and then he tells Thor, who's a god, who he hates because he's a god, to take care of his daughter. Which makes no sense. That's a
Yeah.
contradiction of like his whole purpose. And in the comics, he's known as the God Butcher for a reason because he moidalizes gods. And
The world changes.
I just felt like the movie was it was just so bad, dude. Like
So stupid.
the movie was just not good. And I was so disappointed watching it. Christian Bale still acted his butt off. He did great.
Hmm.
Loved him. Love him as an actor. He's great. But I think they didn't utilize him the best. He essentially carried that movie, if we're being honest. Like there were so many
Yeah.
fight scenes with him was so cool, and there's a lot of cool things that they could have done, especially with the Necro Sword, which is technically a symbiote because it's a part of Noel, who's the symbiote king. So they could have did some kind of symbiote ties, or when they destroyed it, it like wormed off, somewhere. We could have got
Into
like a
the
little Noel
sunset.
tease or like something, but we got none of that, and it fused in
No.
with Mjolnir, which was dumb. I'm just like not. I wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah.
So I did see one thing, and it helps me to give a little bit of like a not really justification, but a little bit of a different perspective on it. And somebody said like, "Oh, the whole movie is the idea of Korg telling the kids about the whole adventure."
Hmm.
And it gave me a little bit like because there were some people that were like, "What's up with the personification of the hammer and Stormbreaker?" Like never ever in the entire time we've seen Marvel have either Stormbreaker nor Mjolnir had like a personality where they'd be jealous of each other. Granted, we've never seen them together, but it's like
Right.
there was never a personality to either of them. But I saw that and I was like, okay, I could kind of understand a little bit more as to like that's actually how they wanted it to be. Like they wanted it to have like an interaction of like it's a little more whimsical and funny because Korg is funny and Korg it's from his perspective. And it's like Korg is also played by the director
Can never
Ta-
pronounce his name.
Ta- okay,
Yeah,
Taikani
yeah,
Waititi, something like that.
yeah, Waititi, I think is his last name. So,
Something like
but
that.
it's like supposed to be like Waititi's interpretation of how Korg would have viewed it. And I'm like, I get that, but I feel like it's a cop out. Like
It is.
at the
it
essence,
is.
you have Thor, Love and Thunder, like Mighty Thor. That's in the comics, and it's pretty dope. So having it be this whole idea of like, Anna, like he's kind of just a goober, like he's funny, he doesn't hop in unless he's needed, and it's like that's never how Thor has ever been. So it's like, why did they just switch it for
Exactly.
that? And then also, did you guys hear about the whole thing where Russell Crowe was supposed to actually be Satan?
I did, and I saw the concept
Yeah.
art for it too.
Yeah, it was completely like that's how he was supposed to be, and it was supposed to actually still be him like Zeus at the beginning, and then when he like at the end credit
Hmm.
when they started to like bringing it
Mhm.
back, that was supposed to be Satan, and it was supposed to be like he was like undercover for it, and I was like, huh,
That
it's an
could have been
interesting
cool.
thing.
I feel like they should have left that in.
It
Like
would have
maybe
been
as like the
very
second end
different.
credit or something.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
very different
And that could
to
have
show that.
tied into like some things like Panda and I used to always talk about with WandaVision when it was coming out. It could have really like amped
Here we
up
go.
those theories, you know.
Yeah,
Look, I'm still gonna stick to my guns on that. We will be getting Mephisto at some time
We freaking
in
Oh,
the
yeah.
Marvel universe.
we need to.
But
I just want it to be Johnny Depp. That's it.
Dude, that would be
exactly,
awesome. He could play
I want that
Solo.
so bad.
It's the best
But
fan cast for it.
Agreed.
I mean, going back to the Love and Thunder real quick. To me, it was a decent movie, but it was overshadowed by the comedy aspect. For especially with it coming after the likes of like WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, where we're delving into a little bit of a darker side of everything. Like we're getting more into a darker time with it, but they're just like, oh, we're gonna use this movie to bring it back to like a PG-esque kind of thing and keep it lighthearted and whatnot. But that doesn't fit what they're trying to do right now. So I think Marvel in itself is still trying to figure themselves out, and this was their feeler movie. But remove some of those comedy aspects of it, and it would have been a decent movie. It would have been a good movie.
I mean,
Casting wise,
they got to fix too, but yeah.
CGI and all that, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's
that's
we could get into that at another time.
Agreed.
To me, I just don't think it fit the theme that they're trying to go right now. Like with that, if they would have kept it as like an end credit scene with Satan and all that, it would have fit a little bit better. But I don't know. I think they're still trying to feel themselves out, and we're going to be in for a very, very long ride.
Don't disagree with that. Novo, you got any thoughts on this?
I mean, what's it called? Marvel, or I guess you can air quote Disney. They trying to, I feel like they just try to appease everyone. Like when they try to make these movies or shows, they try to, stick the label of, this is Marvel, this comics for you people out there. But at the same time, they're like, what's it called? But this is for everybody. And you know what everyone loves? Comedy. And so like, you got your grandparents in the movie theaters and, they'll choke out a few jokes or whatever. They're trying to like make everyone enjoy the movie at the same time. So I feel like that's why they kind of go through like the comical aspect. Um, which I don't think it's terrible. Um, it's just, it kind of sucks out, like y'all was saying, it sucks out, the deeper, message you're trying to get through in the movie. You know what I mean? And it's a shame, but
It's a dang shame.
I don't know. It's this recipe that they're trying out. Is it terrible? meh. It's not a terrible recipe, but we can always work on a recipe. We can always fix it.
It could be
So
improved upon.
it can be
Yes.
improved upon. But you know, I thought it was, a decent movie. Like, I didn't walk out like, God, this was amazing. I just walked out like that was a Thor movie. That's kind of how I walked out. So, um, you can't complain, but
That was
that's
a
my
Thor movie.
That's the
that's
best way to
what
put it,
It
honestly.
really
Yeah,
is.
for real.
so yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
I mean, I agree with you there. Like, there. It's weird because it does seem like they're trying to feel themselves out now, even though they've
Mhm.
had 4 phases to feel themselves out, and a decade to kind of get the hang of things. But it's like ever since Endgame ended, they're like, okay, we don't know what to do, so we're gonna start from scratch.
Mhm.
And we kind of see that
Why?
with phase 4, 5, and 6, the list of shows and movies that they have for us. Like for the rest of phase 4, we have I Am Groot, which came out really under the radar. I don't think any of us have watched it.
I haven't seen anything
Nope.
of it.
It looked
I
cute.
could, I could be honest there.
That's it, yeah. There's She-Hulk, which is out now. That one looked like it could have been good. There's also Wakanda Forever that's going to end phase 4, and then supposedly Werewolf by Night. And then phase 4 previously has, the Hawkeye show, Moon Knight, Loki, season 1, WandaVision, What If, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi, Eternals, No Way
Exactly.
Home. Like, phase 4 has been pretty stacked. And phase
It
5
really
looks
has, yeah.
just as stacked, too. But yeah, how do we think about this ending of phase 4? Like, me personally, I'm kind of looking forward to Wakanda Forever. Like, the first
Yeah.
one wasn't that good, in my opinion. Everyone knows my opinion on it. I didn't think it was that good. Nothing to do with race, okay? But I thought it was. I thought
Yeah.
it could have been better. It should have been better. The recipe was there. They just didn't utilize it. And the same thing with this movie. The trailer hits your feels. That's the whole point of it,
Mhm.
Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. He did great as Black Panther, making the accent and language and all that stuff. Really dedicated actor. And this movie should be, and it looks like it's going to be like a memoriam to him. And with Namor coming in as the big bad, it looks like this could be really good. I'm only concerned because the same people are back that it's not going to be that way. Especially since the whole script was released like a month before the trailer came out, and it didn't seem that good. But that's supposed. I mean, we no confirmation on that, of course. But what about you guys? What are you guys excited for the rest of Phase 4 here? What are you guys kind of looking forward to?
I mean, for,
Mm,
for for me, I'm looking forward to see how they end it with Wakanda Forever, and just how they tie in some of the extended Marvel universe as well. The ones that we haven't really seen on a big screen, or some of the ones that we haven't really heard about in a while. Like, I know Daredevil's going to be another one that's going to be coming in at some point.
It's
Um,
Phase 5.
that
Phase 5.
Yeah, he's supposed to be popping in on Phase 4, but I'm not too sure.
In She-Hulk, he was in the
Yeah.
She-Hulk trailer in his yellow
Mhm.
costume.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
It's-
How in the hell they're gonna
If you go back
tie
to,
that together?
if you go back to their second official trailer for the show, at the very end, you
Yeah.
can see he's in his yellow and red costume.
Yeah,
But it looks just
I
like
saw-
like the style of it was just like the Netflix series
Yeah.
costume.
I saw that, but I kind of tend to stay away from trailers
It's fair.
for everything.
Especially 'cause it spoils.
That's why, like, I never really saw any of the trailer. Like, I barely saw the first trailer for Wakanda Forever,
I think
just
it's the
because
only
I
one.
avoid them for the spoilers. But I'm interested to see how they cap it off, honestly. That should be a very in your feels type of movie, so it's a perfect go home for the Phase at this point. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to in this one at this point.
I hope we all don't have
honestly.
the same opinion here, but let's see what do we got. Anyone else? Nova. Don't. What do you got, man?
I'm personally looking forward to I Am Groot. Gonna
Okay.
binge it all night.
Okay.
Um,
That was a curveball.
but now what, man? So like, I love Groot, but you know, so as of now, there were 2 episodes of She-Hulk out.
Mhm.
Um, when I've seen the trailers because they were promoting the hell out of this show.
They really
Like I
were.
was seeing it everywhere.
Mhm.
I was on the fence. I was very questionable about this show. Um, we always bring it up because because Marvel's known for this damn CGI.
The
I kept on
CGI.
looking at her, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna bash a show because what's it called? I'll bash it if they mess up the story and other things, but I can deal with bad like
CGI and
visuals.
whatnot.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
I can live
bearable.
with
Yeah.
bad visuals.
Mhm.
Um, so far with the 2 episodes, without giving spoilers, um, just a question mark above my head. I don't know
Yeah.
really the direction they trying to go with it. Well, I mean, I kind of do, but there are some things that like maybe it's just me over analyzing everything, just like nitpicking, like just
Hmm.
what was that? What they didn't really explain that too well, stuff like that. Um, other than the little nitpicking thing, I don't think She-Hulk's too bad. Um, what's it called? And then the little recipe that Marvel does, they just try to do a little comical, stuff like that in the
Yeah.
show, which
Hmm.
isn't bad, but I don't know. See, like now, man, like everything is just meh. And I don't want meh. I want, damn, dude, this is
Yeah.
really, really good. Like Moon Knight,
Oh my
watching Moon
gosh.
Knight, I was like,
Love that
dude,
show.
hella hype. I love watching that. Moon Knight gave me like goosebumps, man.
For real.
Like that was good.
And Oscar Isaac's a great actor, so he did
Hmm.
great as the role too. I think he was perfect, to be honest.
Yeah, man, but nothing's giving me goosebumps besides Moon. So
That should be
that's a
the
problem,
title
man.
of the episode. Where are the goosebumps, Marvel?
Where are the goosebumps?
Where are the
Right.
goosebumps?
Yeah, man. Like Shang-Chi didn't really give me goosebumps.
Hmm.
What else did we say was in for?
Uh, Eternals came out.
Multiverse.
Well,
Eternals was interesting,
I liked
but
Eternals personally. I thought
yeah,
that
it
was pretty
was
good.
it
Yeah.
was
It was
interesting
good.
take. A
And
lot of people looking at it though, who didn't know Eternals, they're
uh,
like, who the who the hell
Who the
is
hell
this?
are
who does?
Yeah. So I think that's why they got a bad little rep for them.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, from the outside, and I don't think was it really marketed that well. I
It
don't
really
No,
wasn't. They
it
didn't
really
do too
know.
much
wasn't.
marketing,
Yeah,
and for no
they're
marketing, it did very well,
It
especially
really
on the
did.
Marvel standard.
yeah, but that one it gave me mid goosebumps. We'll give it a mid
Yeah.
goosebumps.
What about
Okay.
Doctor
But
Strange? That one was pretty. I thought that one was pretty
Oh,
good.
I'm ready to hear this.
that get okay. So fixed glasses. That gave me
Uh-oh.
goosebumps, but
Is it like
see, not
above
like
mid, but like not top Goosebumps, like somewhere in between?
yeah. I actually prefer Moon Knight
That's fair.
than
I can
what's it
get that.
called? Yeah. But so Moon Knight goosebumps, then the Doctor Strange goosebumps, and then
E-
Eternals.
what's it called? Goosebumps. Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
But they
Okay.
that's my take.
Okay, okay. Voices, what we got, man? Let me hear them takes. What are you excited for, man? What are you looking
Uh-oh.
forward to? What? Give us your
Okay,
voice.
so when it comes to the end of Phase 4, I'm intrigued because so The only thing that I don't like about everything releasing nowadays is like I follow so many accounts on TikTok that just like spoil every single thing that comes out.
Mhm.
Yep.
So I've never even watched She-Hulk, but I guarantee I could come up with a full synopsis based on every clip I've seen because I'm pretty sure I've seen every bit of it from clips.
Probably.
Um, but She-Hulk looks pretty decent. It's not really like never really interested me, so it's not like something that I'm gonna like fall into. And it's like, you know, it's because it's a woman Hulk. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the idea of like it's not
Guys, we
interesting
wanted
to me.
hulked out titties. That's what we're here for, anyways. Like, come
Yeah,
on, let's be
it's
honest.
not. Well, it's. I mean, the
Who
idea
doesn't
that
want a woman
like,
to swoop you off your feet, literally?
yeah. But I've seen some things where people are like, oh, at the like towards the end, I guess, um, there's been some parallels with like how She-Hulk and Hulk were training that could almost activate him like the OG Hulk, like the Norton
Mhm.
type of
Oh,
Hulk.
love that.
And so I was like, okay, it would be
Uh,
kind of crazy if towards the end like something snapped and he did just break and then we have phase 5 with like a World War Hulk
I was thinking
almost
the
Hulk
same thing.
coming in. That'd be fine.
That'd be cool.
But if they just stick with Professor Hulk, which is really just
mhm.
Professor Banner Green, I Hulk's a lost cause for me. Um, if we're talking about
Can't
older
argue with that.
stuff, uh,
Oh,
out of Phase 4, 1000%, the movie that I have actually watched two times because I did enjoy it so much. My dad, who is the like first edition comic collector, has the first edition of Marvel, the first Spider-Man Marvel comic like appearance came out on his birthday. Like
Oh,
he loves
sick
Marvel
ass.
with all of his heart.
nice, nice.
He loved Shang-Chi. I was shook when he said that. Never in a million years did I think my dad would love Shang-Chi, but he loved it and he loved the action and everything.
I
And
can
that's
get
what I
that.
did. CGI, but for the most part, I mean, really, they haven't hit good CGI since like
Endgame.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but I really like Shang-Chi. Me and my dad both went through Moon Knight. We both enjoyed that. Loki I enjoyed, but my dad didn't. And then
I didn't either. It's really bad.
Eternals, my dad didn't even go see.
Oh,
I did see it.
wow.
Um,
Uh oh.
it was there. It was there. It was placed. I
Yeah.
thought it was gorgeous, cinematically,
Cinematically,
fantastic. It looked
yes.
beautiful.
Yes,
Soundtrack
It
yes.
looked
was
beautiful.
great too. I loved it. It's Ramen Dajwani,
Mhm.
and
But
he's awesome.
I don't know. For the most part, I feel it was almost too. If they would have allowed for a little bit of sprinkle into some prior movies that led up
Uh,
to this, like that led up to some of this, like introduce, like maybe drop a couple Eternals, like mention a little bit more about the Celestials, and then have this movie come in and be like, oh, that's what they meant by it. But it was just kind of like they threw it out there and we're like, ah, maybe we didn't tell enough people. Let's just keep it quiet. If it goes good, we're good and move on. And they just now tied it in with She-Hulk because they had the little newspaper clipping. Same thing with Wolverine. But
Didn't know they.
both
I
of
hadn't
those
seen
mhm.
are,
that.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a newspaper article that says man gets in bar fight with metal claws, and then right below it it says what the heck's up with this giant monster sticking out of the ocean.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool, dude.
So they finally tied him in, but I really do think they just did that because everyone online was like, "Are we just gonna ignore
Or
Eternals?
that.
Like, what
Yeah.
happened? Like, I mean, you
It's a
had a
pretty major
celestial
event
coming up
there.
out of the
Yeah.
water.
I mean,
Well,
to
you
be
also
fair
can't
to She-Hulk
forget about the
is
Celestial in the sky grabbing
Yeah,
the other Eternals.
but
Like,
both of them were. They just were like,
exactly.
throw it out the back. Um,
I mean, remember there was Moon Knight in Egypt with all that stuff with time going on. No Way Home in New
yeah,
York happening. There's a lot of stuff happening in 20 whatever it is.
yeah.
Exactly.
So, um, Love and Thunder, it was entertaining. It was not my favorite. Nowhere close to Ragnarok. Um, there was a little bit of lore that they kind of just forgot about that they kind of ignored. For
Yeah.
example, in the first, like in Ragnarok, Thor's talking to Korg, and Korg talks about how his stepdad was like putting together a group, found out about it, and then like he got put in prison for it. But then he also talked about his like mom during that. But then when we're talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, it was explained that he had 2 dads.
Yeah,
So it was just like,
it didn't make
did we
sense.
just forget about that? Like, was
Yeah.
that put there for a reason? Marvel, so it makes sense.
Marvel.
Marvel.
Explains it.
It's,
Yeah. No Way
according to
Home-
Nova, it's Disney. Remember, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks. That's what it is. But, Spider-Man: No Way Home, great. It wasn't a fantastic movie. I enjoyed it, and I don't think you could be a comic book fan and not have gotten goosebumps when all 3 of the Spider-Mans were swinging.
Yeah.
Like, if I could just rewatch that part, like if they made a whole movie
Just of that.
just that part, it's looped in theaters, I could go see it. That's
I
it.
can't disagree with that statement.
Exactly.
Whatever they're doing with Strange is weird. They're switching up how his character acts. It does not feel like the first Strange we got. And if we get to Phase 5 and they're like, guess what? It was Mephisto the whole time, I'd be like, that makes sense. But if it's just straight up Strange, I don't know. So, like, I guess Endgame just flipped how he acts.
You literally just gave me an idea of a theory that I'm going to cover because it's related to Phase 5.
Okay.
Continue. Unless that was it.
No, I mean, Strange Multiverse of Madness was probably my least favorite of anything out of this last phase.
Wow. That's a hot
Yeah.
take. That's a hot
That's
take.
it. Damn.
People can get bent about it. I don't care. I walked into that movie with very high hopes, like extremely high hopes, because of everything with
been the
it.
issue.
I had heard all about the leaks,
Right.
everything like that.
Yeah.
I thought that it was cheap. The cameos that they threw in there were just so cheap. They weren't at all
Yes.
justified. There was no reason for them. I would have been like, the movie would have been great without any of them. Just like, don't put any of them. And the fact that every bit of it was fan casting was even more like stupid.
Double gasp.
I did not enjoy it.
We're gonna
Like,
move on from this. I'm too hurt by this. Disrespecting
I know.
Krasinski and Xavier like that.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Man, I remember like Zeus and I actually watched that one together.
Yeah.
And the theater when that actually happened was fucking nuts.
It was
wild.
Nuts.
But here's the thing. There's no disrespect to those people. It's the disrespect that Disney and Marvel put to those people. That's what I talk about.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Krasinski
I'll
has
give you
been
that.
talked about for so long to be the pinnacle of perfect for Mr. Fantastic, and Emily
Still
Blunt
is.
as the sidekick. Yeah,
Still is.
but the fact that they just tossed him in there and then shredded him like string cheese literally was so childish.
Now,
well, the problem is
It
they
really
already
was.
have both versions of John in there, though.
Exactly. It's just
first of all, I get that's an
This is
office
childish.
reference, and I have
That's an office reference for those of y'all that may or may not get that.
Now, rumor has it that Krasinski will still reprise the role as Mr. Fantastic in the new Fantastic Four movie, but we don't know for sure. It's kind of
there's a lot of rumors about a lot of people.
Exactly.
So we're hoping that we can get him and Emily Blunt as part of the original family. Man, would that be amazing?
That would be pretty cool.
It would be, but they won't. I'd put
Krasinski,
money on it.
if they don't have Krasinski,
I'm willing to
as Mr.
take that bet.
Fantastic At least, if they don't have him as Mr. Fantastic, at least, the biggest loss they could have ever done, the biggest miss. But going into
Which would
phase
be on
5,
par.
that seems to be the trend lately. Going into phase 5, there is.
Let's talk about Miss Marvel. We forgot about that, guys.
We forgot about it for a reason. There wasn't any reason to talk about it. I'm sorry, we went from a Mr. Fantastic ripoff to a Green Lantern ripoff, and then she could just swap places with Captain Marvel? Like, what? No. Let's get out of here. Nothing wrong with the actress. I think she played her well from what the clips I've seen, and the costume's accurate. Nothing wrong with... I'm not going to go over that. But I think it was just a cop-out. I think that's what that entire show was. An excuse to bring her into the Captain Marvel sequel because they know that Captain Marvel isn't liked currently and no one likes Brie Larson. So they need someone to carry the movie. And that's why the sequel isn't even called Captain Marvel 2. It's called The Marvels. But
I will say one thing. I think it's kind of annoying that Marvel keeps putting out shows that nobody's really asking for, and then just throwing in a bunch of cameos, throwing in a bunch of random stuff, throwing in a bunch of random heroes so that people will watch it.
Yep.
I think it's kind of a cop out.
I agree. It's
Okay.
annoying as heck.
You guys don't need to.
Mhm.
And why are we splitting up some of this stuff? Why is it 6 episodes this way? 6 episodes at 20 minutes. Put it all together, stick it as a movie. We'll watch it all. I promise.
Literally,
That's true.
It's fine. We can do it.
That's all it is.
It's what they should have did with Inhumans.
We can't sit there. We're gonna talk about Infinity War and Endgame together. I would have watched both of those movies back to back, sat in there for 5.5 hours. I don't care.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
100%.
A lot of
But I
people
gotta
would've
wait
did that.
gotta wait 6 weeks to watch all of She-Hulk at 20 minutes apiece. Come on.
It's 20 minutes a piece.
I
Yeah,
think so.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Just
not
about.
watching it.
What all of them are.
Well,
But I mean, this is the thing, too, with
Moon
it.
Knight was longer. Moon
This
Knight
is
was
the-
like 40 to
yeah.
50.
Moon Knight was longer. I think Miss Marvel was a little bit longer.
It was like 40 and then 30. But I
Yeah.
know a lot of the earlier Phase 4
Mhm.
show lengths were like 40-minute
Funny.
average.
Exactly. I know She-Hulk right now is also trying to tie in a lot of Phase 4
Why?
together.
Nobody watches.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So we can
I mean, because I know there's a couple of nods, and I guess I'm not going to go into what they are in case it's considered a spoiler, but there are a couple of nods to, or like one nod to Shang-Chi and one nod to the Eternals. But I think that's going to be a recurring theme for every episode of She-Hulk.
I just hope that they can. One thing that I noticed is they don't really listen to our feedback, and that's something that they should do since they technically literally own Marvel now because
Mm-hmm.
they bought the rights to the comics, and Kevin Feige oversees the comics as well. So they should kind of listen, but hey, whatever, man. Let's go to Phase 5. We started out with some interesting takes. Spider-Man freshman year, something no one asked for or wanted. What if Season 2, which personally I don't think is needed. I didn't really like the first season at all. I thought it
And I
was
never finished it.
garbage animation, lazy writing, and the only good parts were the ending when it literally was breaking the multiverse. Even then, it was just kind of
We'll
meh.
talk about that.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that.
yeah. We'll talk about that.
I have my 2 cents.
We do have. Let's see. What other shows do we have coming out? We have the Secret Invasion show. We have Echo, Loki season 2, which season 1 should have been really good, and it wasn't, and I was disappointed. There was no ka-chow moments. Let's see. We have the Agatha show coming out, which is a bit of a surprise because no one asked for it. Not really sure what they're going to do with that or how it's going to tie in with anything, but hey, we're getting it. And we're also getting what everyone's always been asking for, the Daredevil show. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with something that you were mentioning earlier, Voices. You said, what if it was actually Mephisto as Doctor Strange?
Yes.
I'm going to
I
do a
love
twist. It's actually a Skrull, and it ties into Secret Invasion. Because that's what it is. Secret Invasion is the Kree-Skrull War, where the Skrulls were shapeshifted into all of the heroes and villains, and Earth was stuck in the middle of that war. Now, do I think this should be a show? No, I think this should be like a movie because it's such a big event and it's pretty impactful and freaking amazing. And it's been pretty under the radar lately too. All we heard is
I haven't really heard
Amelia
much about
Clark is one of the villains, and Nick Fury is back. That's all we really know. And the Skrulls have been kind of lackluster since Captain Marvel, but that is a tie-in that they could do. A Skrull, maybe make them a little bit more antagonistic, like they actually are. Maybe we'll get a hint of the Super Skrull in there. That'd be pretty cool. That's a Fantastic Four reference for you kids that don't know. But yeah, I'm not excited for What If at all. Not excited for freshman year at all. Loki season 2, I'm only interested in because I know it's going to tie in with Kang really directly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know with Ant-Man
Definitely.
too, I forgot to put this on the list, but Ant-Man and the Marvels are coming out in Phase 5. Yeah, Ant-Man Quantumania is going to be crazy good. I can tell from the little trailer that was leaked from Comic-Con. It's going to be freaking great.
Kang's literally in it. So
Haven't even seen that.
Yeah, they didn't officially release it. There was leaked trailers for it, and a variant of Kang is in it. And because the trend is throughout the entire multiverse saga, we're going to see different variants of Kang until Kang Dynasty, which is in Phase 6, where we get the big bad.
V Kang.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll start with the shows first. That's kind of my take. Daredevil, I'm excited for. We're getting Kingpin back.
Yeah.
I hope we can see some of the Defenders in there as well. I want all of them, the originals. I want them back. Don't replace Iron Fist for you non-existent haters out there. Don't replace him. Jessica Jones is perfect. Luke Cage is perfect. John Bernthal as Punisher is perfect. And Finn playing Iron Fist was really freaking good. I don't understand the hate. I really don't. And I want to see them all in there, or at least a reference to them in the show. But I'm excited for Daredevil. That's going to be great. That's the big thing I'm looking forward to. In Echo, we're going to get Kingpin and Daredevil in there as well, supposedly. So I don't really know what to expect from that show. I didn't think that the character was good enough to get her own show in the first place. But we'll see. Like I said, shows first. What's everyone takes on Phase 5?
One word is going to be Daredevil.
Literally just Daredevil. That's all you're looking forward to.
Just Daredevil.
Just Daredevil.
That's all I'm looking forward to on that one, honestly.
Yeah. Kind of on the same page.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so I will say, I actually enjoyed Loki. I thought it was slow, but at the same time, I had it playing while I was just doing other stuff, and I was like, this is okay. Like, there's some heartfelt stuff. I love Owen Wilson. I think he's funny. And I thought that he was
Owen Wilson's amazing.
He was a good... I don't think anyone should have played that different. Like, I think he added a factor that I didn't need in there, and I'm just going to call it the Owen factor, because it wasn't like straight
factor. How about that?
Yeah, it wasn't straight up like comedy, but it also wasn't like he wasn't super serious, but like he just played, I don't know.
I think he was just himself.
Factor. Yeah.
Basically.
So I am a little excited for that, but Daredevil's still number one, and then probably it would sit as Loki. What else? I don't. Secret Invasion, I might watch. Echo, might watch. Agatha, probably not. Ironheart, no. So yeah, that's about it.
Oh no, that is a series. That is a series.
Is it? I thought it was a movie.
Is a series. No. I forgot about that.
No.
Not excited.
It was gonna be a series. So it was gonna be a movie, and then they made it a series. Just making a movie.
No, you want to know why they're making it a series? Because they know it's not going to succeed in the theaters, so they're putting it on Disney Plus as a series.
Exactly.
That's why.
True.
She's supposed to be in.
She is in
Wakanda forever.
She was in the trailer.
Let's see here. I didn't even notice.
Yeah. So when I can never remember. I think it's Shuri. When she was going.
I know that
they do like little
somebody.
hand slap things with
her.
Yeah.
I just thought it was. Yeah, I just thought it was somebody that like worked in the lab.
I never liked Ironheart as a character to begin with. I never thought she was needed, and she was super force. No one really liked her when she came out anyways. But hey, what do we know? We're just the fans that buy everything.
But here's my pet peeve. Here is my pet peeve is the fact that Iron Man 3 came out. We got introduced to this boy who was a brilliant genius.
Oh my gosh,
loved everything to do about Iron Man. Got connected. Iron Man hooked him up with all these stuff. Everything. Then they bring him back for Endgame. He's there during that. And then they're like, let's just bring in a completely different girl who has no connection whatsoever to anything to do with the entire series. Let's make her the next Iron Man.
So
meanwhile, this kid's probably sitting back like, I'm going to design a better suit, and I'll just knock her off.
I want to apologize for the outburst I just had, but that is something I've been saying ever since like Endgame, that he should be Iron Lad. Like, instead of doing it as like a Kang variant, just have him as Iron Lad, because it's essentially been set up since Iron Man 3. He was there. They brought the original actor back for Endgame to be at his funeral. Like, he has a deep connection with him. He obviously has the skills to become a pseudo or next possible Iron Man. And Happy, it would be great to have him in there too. Jon Favreau is just great in general. Like, I love actor, director, great. And having him in more Marvel products is great. And having him, since he doesn't really have that connection with Peter anymore, to have that new connection with pseudo Iron Lad, that would be great because he would see so much of Tony in him, kind of like how he did with Peter. And then maybe in the Peter or the Spider-Man trilogy later on, we'll see him get his memory back, and then he's like two little kids that it's like his, or something. That's a little bit more out there. But I think that's
down the line.
what they could have done.
What I think would be really cool is like, okay, you bring in that kind of kid, that guy gets connected. Say he does get pulled in with like the next like phase of Avengers, which I don't even know what it would be at this point. But if we do, the dynamic between Spider-Man and that, like an Iron Lad and Spider-Man, number one, they're pretty close to age.
Yeah.
Like both of them are like high school age, college age. So like we could potentially see like a new Iron Spider-Man come out of like this kid designing something that he would also use. Like we could see like a combo type of thing. Like there'd be so much more interesting things to it. But it's just like,
It's
did we really go with Ironheart?
They could
because
have
we
added
wanted
her later on too. That's the thing. They could have added her later on after Iron Lad was established and have her as like a side character. And then maybe if the popularity is good enough, we can get her own series or movie or something. Heck, you could have added her into like Armor Wars as like as like a teaser. Like, hey, I'm Riri Williams. I had this suit. Here you go. And then that's it. That's all we see for a little bit. And then we'll get the Iron Lad. But sorry, I had to go off on that tangent there. I apologize for the interruptions. Back to your regularly scheduled thoughts.
That's it.
That's it.
That was all my thoughts. So.
Okay. Nova.
I'm here to defend What If, man.
Oh.
I'll know what your beef is with it, man. I love What If,
bro.
It's so okay. So the whole premise of What If is literally what if. You don't have to think of anything else. It's literally like just there to enjoy it. And I what's it called? I just love the different, the Watcher, and he's like, yo, what if this happened? Like it's kind of like, those little like, you chilling with your friends, and you're like, bro, what if zombies? Bam, Marvel zombies. You know what I mean? It's just so good. I liked it. Okay, the end was a little twist. Oh, I'm imagining everyone's seen What If.
At this
point,
but like, yeah, like I didn't really see Ultron being like, you know what? I won't mess everything up. I was like, oh snap, Ultron, what are you doing?
Isn't it like Voltron because it's Vision Ultron?
Yeah.
Vision Ultron, yeah.
Voltron, but instead of an O, it's a U because copyright.
Yeah, it's like scratched down.
but let me just fix this real quick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what they did with Thanos. So
that's true.
That was like he was like,
like,
yo, I'm about to mess this up, and he's like, and I was like, what just happened? Yeah, that was crazy. I liked how he tied up everyone though from the respective stories we've seen. That I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I just like seeing these different stories and watching it, not really having to think too much, you know what I mean? Like it's cool, like just seeing little cameos and stuff like that. You can make references, but I just enjoy it as an entertainment thing. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't looking at it as like yo, this might be in the next, what's it called? Next, Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that. I don't need to think that much. I just get to watch it and enjoy it. Also, I'm a sucker for Marvel zombies. I love zombies.
Yep.
So that episode, watching that was so hype. Are they making like a Marvel zombie show or something like that?
Up in the air. There's rumors
that
they're making it. But it's possible because they are going more the rated R route with Daredevil. And they're adding all the Daredevil I'm sorry, not with Daredevil, with Deadpool. They are supposedly making Daredevil the same as Netflix, like the more TV 14.
If they didn't, I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With Deadpool, they're making that rated R. That's the first like Disney rated R movie ever. So it is looking like they are going more the mature route anyways. So rumors not really out of the realm of possibilities yet.
Yeah, because Daredevil is the gateway. He is
Deadpool.
He is our Deadpool to great quality movies and shows.
I mean, he
'Cause
really
you
was
know
when
when
you
you
think about it, because the Netflix shows
when you slept,
were not kid friendly.
yeah,
Not even slightly.
No,
Yes.
no,
not at all.
So
No.
saying he's the gateway is not wrong, especially certain prison scenes with the
No.
Punisher, or
Mhm.
even season
Mhm.
3. Yeah, yeah, we all.
yeah. See,
Uh-uh.
those
The hallway
they will
scene.
guide
Oh my,
us
chill!
to
Oh,
Literally
jeez.
chills, dude.
good quality shows and movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Slap
Preach it.
that R on there.
Slap.
Yep.
It's free
So-
game. Slap
So I
that
will
R on
say-
there.
Yeah, I will
Go
say
ahead.
I'm on Nova's side with What If. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. So
I
are we
went on his
split?
side.
Are we split even with?
Yeah,
Twitter?
we're split.
Okay.
Wow.
We're
Okay.
split even right now.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. I liked it. Not a reason for season 2. I will say that.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
the two things, like I had a pet peeve about Loki, and I had a pet peeve about What If was number one, the fact that Vision was just like shot him right through. Because my first initial thought was just like,
We
we watched Endgame. He sat there and pulled it out. Why did he not just right through his hand? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And then the other portion is like Loki, where they found the stones like in the drawer, and just like the
They're just
idea
fucking-
of we watched so many people die. We watched
For
so many
those,
like
yeah.
people and
For
characters that we've
paperweights.
grown with for decades just die for the sake of these stones, and they're like, we use them for paperweights, and I'm like, I wanted to throw hands with somebody
I'm
about
with
it.
you there. I am with
That
you there.
irked the shit out of me too, honestly.
And like I
yeah.
saw so many edits and cuts where people were like, right when it showed that, it was like just a super cut of like Tony and Nat, and like I was just like,
the
stop.
views.
Right?
I don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I'm
What
on- I'm
If
on Nova's side with
series
this
I don't
is.
know.
Yeah.
I think What If was it
It-
was garbage animation. Shouldn't have won Best Animated Series at all, especially with what came out.
No, I don't think it should have.
It
No,
garbage
definitely
animation.
not.
And the stories, especially for the original, was just really bad writing. Like they essentially tried to use the same scripts from the original like movies and just like twist it, which I'm like,
slammed.
it makes sense, but if you're gonna do a what if, don't just copy and paste. Like you have the time. You
Make it
obviously have the
different.
time to make this whole series. You have the time to make a decent script that can last 20 minutes.
So the only thing I see with that though is like, but it's again what Nova said. It's a what if. So it is the stories we know, but what if this changed? Like it should have been similar. Like it should have been close to the
But
same
it was
thing,
too.
but something would have shifted.
You know
Does
what?
it-
That's the thing.
I just don't think it was needed in general.
Thank
like-
you. I
like
didn't
if
either.
we did
I
Okay.
just don't. That's more of a fan service to me, though.
And I enjoyed every second.
Like to me, What If is just a fan service that is not needed. It doesn't progress anything.
but
But
also it's
I-
like okay, but we get stuff that isn't fan needed and isn't fan foot forward that
I am
nobody
good.
else wants.
I
That's
get
still
that,
for
and I don't
So it's
disagree
like-
with you there.
I'm
I
good
just
with
disagree with both of y'all on the What If side of everything.
I do like how
I'm
we're
good with
split
watching
here.
a show. Yeah, I'm good with watching a show that has zero connection to it. And
Yeah.
one thing that did annoy me was the fact that when they released all the stuff for Multiverse, they were like, "Oh, be prepared. Watch What If before
Exactly.
you go in." And I was like, "What? Because Doctor Strange resurrects a different version of himself from a completely different universe in his world? Like, is that what was that the zombie? Like, or like what's
There you go.
the-
No, but there's your
How did
Marvel
this have
zombies.
any
There you go,
connection?
that's
Yeah.
I was like, it didn't make
That was your
any
Marvel
sense.
zombies. Take it.
And like, yeah,
That's all I get.
I was about to go into another multiverse thing. We're done with that.
We can have
So,
another episode for like the whole thing here, but yeah, one thing that's not needed was freshman year, that's for sure. But Nova,
I don't know why.
Yeah.
the rest of your show prediction thoughts.
Sorry, my bad, bro.
You totally good.
No, he
What
sparked
if
it. That was on
I'm-
him. He sparked it.
That's
I sparked in the explode from there.
He said,
knew
"Wow,
what
it
he
was
was
good,"
doing.
and we're like, "Hold up a second, there, Slick."
Sometimes I just want to watch the pirate world burn.
Exactly.
Everyone loses their minds.
Oh god.
I'm hyped for Secret Invasion. I think
Okay.
so.
Thank you.
Like, what's it called, man? I like need some scrolls. But I agree with you. They need to be a little
Better.
Aggressive.
girly.
Because they're like they
Yeah.
were such wimps and pushovers in Captain Marvel, and in the series,
Yeah.
in the comics, they are not that. The Super Skrull,
They take
another
over.
Captain,
Yeah.
another Fantastic Four reference, by the way, is not no pushover. Like these are some pretty big antagonists, especially since they can
Yeah.
shapeshift into anyone. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say that's something that I think might happen with Agatha is that Agatha does have a lot of connections to Fantastic Four. So that might also be part of the Covenant Chaos thing. Because I
That
actually
is
look
interesting.
So here's the thing. You look up Agatha, whatever her name is.
Harkness.
Agatha
Harkness.
Harkness, yeah.
Harkness.
The first thing that actually pulls up is an entire storyline with just the Fantastic Four. Like, Wanda isn't even mentioned. Like, she has zero connection to Wanda in the synopsis that it explained with her. And, like, it has everything to do with, like, she was actually connected to the people that owned the Baxter building the first time. And then when they took over, then she started to go in depth with them and then started twisting them because she felt like they were taking too much power. So then they started reverting back. So there is definitely, like, I don't know if they will.
Really
but
good, yeah.
It's a
They
good
really
way that
could.
they could at least introduce a couple of characters because she does have a connection with the Storm family. So if they introduce Sue Storm
wow.
and Johnny Storm just through Agatha, perfect. Then let's bring in Fantastic Four in season 5. in phase 5. Phase 6 or whatever it is.
Phase
But like,
6.
yeah. So that's
that would be
something
really
that's kind of
good.
interesting.
I could be on board with that actually. I was concerned because I was like, what is it this show's gonna be? Like, what are you gonna do with it? But when you bring in that story, that could be really good.
Yeah.
Especially since
That
we do
does
have
make a lot of
Secret
sense,
Wars,
though.
and that's Doctor Doom and stuff. The Fantastic Four have always been prominent in Marvel in general. So
With that,
having
yeah.
these connections early on is great. But yeah, Nova. Sorry,
Definitely.
you're sparking so many things.
Poor Nova, we keep interrupting him.
I know, I feel so bad.
Nah, you good. Loki, you know, I like Loki, the character.
I like Loki.
So, you know, I'll watch it just to watch it. What else we said? Ironheart, man.
Why?
Nah, yeah, like just I'm good,
We don't
dog.
talk about it.
I'm good.
Moving
And
on.
then Agatha, we just had a little
A little,
thing about
yeah.
Agatha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what it possibly could be.
It could
So,
be good, yeah. There's
so
Echo
maybe
also.
there's some hype now.
Yeah.
Echo.
She's
Who's Echo?
she was the deaf lady from Hawkeye. She's the
Mhm.
quote unquote adoptive daughter of Kingpin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't put my input if I don't know who that is.
I was gonna say.
I got it. I figured. Okay, Agatha
Uh-oh.
Harkness became a governess tutoring children in need, though she eventually retired. But when the Fantastic Four contacted her to ask her to watch their newborn baby Franklin Richard, she agreed immediately once she considered who his parents were. That's the connection.
Oh,
Yo,
wow.
and especially since in
You did
Doctor
it.
Strange, he was talking about how he has kids. Dude, and the fact if they establish that storyline and we have Franklin
that's
Richards
right.
already MCU canon, bro, that is
And
just
like
crazy.
And what's crazy is like the Fantastic Four actually turn her to the good side. Like they actually help her to like see that there's like it says Agatha became Franklin's permanent governess afterwards. She took Sue and Franklin into their home when the Atlanteans attacked. So like there's a lot of different things.
But that's a Wakanda
so they're gonna be-
story.
Exactly. So there's some
there's a lot
there's
of
some
tie-ins right there.
things that are being set up, and she actually helps to fight Doctor Doom.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Dude, okay, Marvel, listen to
we
this
go.
podcast. I know you're not going to. but
Please,
listen to this.
please.
Do this
Oh.
story.
Also,
She also
real quick.
contacted the Watcher.
That's
Nice.
what if.
Also, Marvel, if y'all do watch this, please make Doctor Strange Mephisto. Just please make
No,
it.
no,
make him Mephisto.
No, no.
Yes.
No.
No,
Yes.
because I want
Yes.
one movie where everyone has to fight Doom and Mephisto. That's what I want.
Oh, that's
That's
actually
what I
a good
want.
idea.
I don't want them to be the same person.
be
I want
sick.
them to be two, and I want them to come together, hate each other so much that they want to kill everybody.
Okay,
That's what
I
I
like
that'd be
that.
cool. Never
Go
gonna
with that.
happen,
Go
but
with
that'd
that.
be cool.
I don't care as long as I get Mephisto in the MCU. That is all I want.
Okay,
as
so
long
we
as it's
went
Johnny Depp.
over the
Pay him the
show.
300 million and pay him the 300 million and the million alpacas. Do it.
So for the Phase 5 movies that we have coming up, there's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which that's going to be heartfelt like crazy.
Yeah.
It's the end of this era's Guardians. There's going to be a lot of them dying. It's the backstory of Rocket, and I cannot remember the antagonist's name. It's like the High.
Oh, I got you.
The High
I got
something.
you. Give me like.
Anyways, it's going to be really good. I'm excited for that movie. James Gunn's just a great director in general. Like, if you watch any of the Guardians movies, Peacemaker, The Suicide Squad, Brightburn, like, he's just really good at what he does. We also have Blade coming out Phase 5, which that should be really good. I'm excited for that. Mahershala Ali is a great actor, and he's going to play Blade very well, and I'm excited for that. We have Captain America New World Order, which ties after, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm also excited for that because having Sam deal with being Captain America by itself it's just going to be a great thing to see. Like, that was all there's several arcs in the comics about that. And what New World Order is, I don't know, but I'm ready to see it. I feel like it's going to be like a Hydra 2.0, to be honest.
Hopefully.
They don't stop.
We are getting the Marvels, like mentioned earlier. Don't really care or excited about. And then we are getting the Thunderbolts. Finally. Been asking for this forever, and we're finally getting it as a movie, too, which is going to be great. And they've been kind of setting it up for Phase 4 anyways, from what it tells. We're going to get, like, the U.S. agent, Black Widow's sister. I can never remember her name. Loved her as a character. Can never remember her name. And I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of others as well. Maybe Echo might be in it. I don't think so. But I'm interested to see. Maybe we can get a hint of Red Hulk, but like Martin Freeman's version, because rest in peace to the original actor of Thunderbolt Ross. He has passed. So maybe his cousin will take it. Well, his his character's cousin will be the new Red Hulk. That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I saw something really cool, and it was like a whole theory that they could actually figure out a way to pull Norton in and him be the Red Hulk.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, okay, so I can see that. I can see that, especially with what just happened after episode 2.
Yeah, I'd be really game, because then I feel like if there was a Red Hulk, and there were to be any conflict with him and regular Hulk, I think
it would have to be.
Banner would have to Hulk up.
Like,
and then,
like Edward Norton Hulk, I think, in my opinion, best Hulk iteration ever. Perfect iteration.
100%.
Perfect iteration of Bruce Banner. Probably the perfect Hulk movie that we have ever seen, or probably will ever get, to be honest. That movie was peak MCU. And it is MCU canon, by the way, which is weird because they changed the actors, but whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a shame that we
They mentioned it in She-Hulk.
They mentioned it in She-Hulk.
Well, yeah, because Abomination
confirmed to be canon.
Yeah, because Abomination's technically that's the same one, same actor. That movie is canon.
Yeah, straight up in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, literally in Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
which I hope that's explained.
Exactly.
Why is Wong just hanging out with Abomination? Like, that's just weird.
Yeah. I have a feeling if you're wanting that to be explained, you might have to watch episode 3 of She-Hulk when it comes out.
They went to college together.
just as a whole.
They're
that's
roommates.
right. That's right.
They were roommates.
They were roommates.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm honestly, for the movie lineup, I'm excited for all except for Miss Marvel. That's it. Everything else, I'm actually intrigued to see, and they all look to be really promising and hard to mess up. But granted, this is Disney, so.
But something I want in Phase 6. Yes, something I want in Phase 6 is, so they're bringing in Blade. They also talked about the Black Knight. So
yes, they did.
If they had a team compiled of,
I think I know where you're going.
Black Knight, Blade, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider.
You're talking about the Midnight Suns?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yep.
They've been. I thought that's what they were going to do because the game's coming out, which isn't going to be that successful.
Yes.
But the Midnight Suns is gaining traction, and we could see Ghost Rider back, and heck, we could see both iterations of Johnny Blaze and Robbie Reyes, which would be cool.
Yeah.
and we have Blade, like you said, Moon Knight. If we get the Midnight Suns as a Phase 6 movie, literally, we'll have my tits sweating.
So I saw a couple of things. Number one, the reason why I even thought about it was because randomly, in an interview, Ryan Gosling said that he had talked to Jon Favreau as friends, saying that he would love to play Ghost Rider.
Yes, he's talked to
And I
Kevin
was
Feige
like,
too.
That's a very
specific.
random thing. And so then somebody came out. I saw somebody make a TikTok, and they were talking about how cool would it be. And he was like, Marvel would never do this, and DC never. I mean, and Disney never would because like the theme would kind of be weird. But what if we actually saw like, okay, it was Ryan Gosling being a Ghost Rider, but he kind of gets pulled in with all the multiverse crap going on and actually meets the other Ghost Riders,
the MCU ones.
And so you have like, if they want to bring back Johnny Cage, sure. But I also would really like to see like a situation of the guy from The Walking Dead play
which guy? It's not specific.
Norman Reedus. Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Norman Reedus.
Oh yeah.
A random Ghost Rider from a different world of some kind that meets with him. Same with Robbie Reyes and the one that's from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever.
Yeah, that's
pull
Robbie
that guy
Reyes.
in. Then even do like a one of the futuristic ones, or like one of the ultimate versions of Ghost Rider that like knows everything and is like the most powerful being in the entire world, because that's what Ghost Rider has the
What
ability
if we
to
get
be.
Cosmic Ghost Rider and it's actually played by John
That's what I was
Bernthal?
thinking.
Because yeah, so there's Cosmic Ghost Rider, which is the Punisher.
Not John Bernthal though.
No, but here's the thing. It's the Punisher who becomes the Ghost Rider, who becomes the Herald of Galactus, who also becomes the Hand of Thanos. So you could have John Bernthal play it because he is the Punisher. Or you could bring back the original Punisher movie actors and have them play it.
Yeah. And then they also even said to like pull
Very
in
true.
the guy who played the old Ghost Rider who talked with Johnny Storm. Like the
Oh, you're talking about in
what's
the
his
Nick
name?
Cage movie? The guy the cowboy
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, have him be the actual like the OG one. But like have like almost like a quick little, like he said show, but it could have been like just a movie they threw on to Disney Plus, but like do something like that. Like a combination of like
would
he needs to
so
learn how to
see
be
that.
Ghost Rider. It'd
Right.
be amazing.
That would be
And
pretty
then-
cool.
And granted, if we do throw out like Deadpool and we do have Punisher come back to reprise the role and we do have Deadpool actually all be successful, Marvel should know and Disney should know you can do R. We're not babies anymore. We're allowed to handle it.
Look at the
Yeah.
Netflix shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the parents, it'll be up to the parents to bring the kids in. There are so many kids that know about Daredevil. So don't act like you're tricking them or not succuming to all this
The
craziness.
only thing
It's
is
like,
the higher
we
ups,
got
and
plenty
because
of
of the
stuff going
Disney
on.
rule, you know, the House of Mouse doesn't go
It
that
don't
route.
even
But
matter.
it doesn't.
Yeah, but it don't matter because guess what?
don't
When
matter.
they see how much money Deadpool 3 brings in, they're gonna start switching other story. Because here's the thing: they don't care about what's good and what's
Money
bad.
talks.
They care
This is
about
true.
money.
Money talks.
But yeah, that would be dope. And it could also be a cool way to make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 100% confirmed canon by having that Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider as the MCU Ghost Rider.
I don't.
Because, I mean, it's always been canon. There was
I
no
don't want him as
reason-
the MCU Ghost Rider.
I don't.
Well, they could have it as the Robbie Reyes one. You could still have, like, the Johnny Cage one, the bike one.
Yeah.
You could still bring in the horse one. There's other iterations. There's multiple Ghost Riders. And he's technically
thought
not even
S.H.I.E.L.D.
the one that did the Spirit of Vengeance deal. He made
Shield was confirmed as not canon.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not canon.
Is it?
It was
confirmed?
supposed to be
Because
like-
it was
Yeah,
confirmed
'cause they-
canon. and
Yes,
then they said it
what-
wasn't,
one
but
of
then said it
the-
was.
They said it was almost like a what if the snap never happened.
Exactly.
type
I
of
think it
thing.
was
Yeah,
Feige that confirmed
Feige
it,
said
right?
that. Yeah.
Wait, like-
Yeah,
after
Feige
it was-
confirmed that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. Because
I've been telling you this for the longest time.
But
dude.
here's the thing: it literally ties in with the MCU up until like season 5, and then it goes
Yeah,
off into
but
the
they-
cosmic. But before then, it
Because
literally
it-
ties in.
Yes, and it's because it's
Because it
essentially
goes off
supposed
track.
to be a what if the snap never happened. That's their whole idea behind
none
it,
of the- oh
is
my
that the snap never happened in that.
That's the dumbest
Yes,
freaking
you're
thing
right.
ever. That is literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because it's all before
Uh-huh.
the snap. I'm done. That literally pissed me off. I am so done. It's someone else talk about the movies they're excited for. Go. Please.
Go for it.
So annoying.
I think Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be great. I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah.
Guardians, I'm bringing a box of tissues with me.
Yep.
The
Exactly.
Marvels, I won't see. And whoever gets bent can get bent. Go right ahead.
Marvel's is gonna be garbage.
Blade. I
Oh
will
yes.
show up midnight for that one. I'm more excited for that than anything because I don't know what they're gonna do with it. But I know
Mhm.
the guy, Ali. I can't say his first name. I have no
Mahershala.
idea how to say his first name. Marshall. Yeah.
Mahershala. It's weird.
Mahershala.
Yeah.
We'll just go with
Mahershala
Ali.
Ali.
Yeah.
He is perfect. And the fact that he even worked with Wesley Snipes to go over the character and stuff like
Yep.
that is even better because that just shows how it's going
Rumor
to be.
has it
Exactly.
Nick Cage might be Dracula. So there's
Just ruined
that.
I think we could have done without
I'm
that
ignoring
little
that.
tidbit.
I'm ignoring
I
that.
think we could have done without that.
No, that could be
Not
funny,
true.
dude. I would be
Not
No,
all
I
for
think
it, dude.
done without
But
that.
it
Zeus.
could be funny. It could be funny. And you're talking about Blade. It could be funny and you're
Yeah.
talking about
Listen,
Blade.
listen. I think that'd be an interesting cast.
Look,
No.
I'm just gonna say this. I
No.
don't normally go to premieres and all that, but I will probably be going to the Blade one.
Yeah.
Like
That's
just because
Captain
like
America.
I agree with him there.
Same.
Captain America New World Order. I might see it. I don't know. We'll see. I think if they do a little bit more with the secret agent,
The U.S.
because
agent?
they need, U.S. agent. I need a little bit more of him because that seems very interesting. Also, I need Falcon to take the serum. I don't care what he has to do. I don't care if it's
Wait,
put into
You
his
mean
neck
Sam
by
or
someone.
like the new Falcon?
Do you mean Sam Wilson or the new Falcon?
Yeah, because remember the Hispanic like sidekick guy? He's gonna be the new Falcon,
Yeah.
which is comic accurate, by the way. But so yeah, I'm like, are you talking about Sam or you mean like new Falcon?
I'm talking about Sam. I'm
Okay.
talking about Sam, the new Captain America. I need him to take the serum. That's it.
What? No.
Otherwise,
Nope.
Oh,
I disagree with that.
I don't know.
wholeheartedly.
I
doesn't
don't
need
think
it.
about.
He
I don't
doesn't
know. I
think
don't
it.
think he needs a.
He does not need it. Like, I think that's the whole thing with him too. Is he doesn't have it. He
Mhm.
never had it, which makes him
I
even
mean,
cooler. Like, come on.
all that fucking training he did to master the fucking shield.
Yeah, that 5-minute montage of him doing it in like 3 seconds.
Right.
Like, dude, come on, he doesn't need it.
That's all he needs.
okay, if he's mastered the shield, it's fine. It's just there was a lot of times where Captain America could have got his like nuts handed to him that I don't think the new Captain America could deal with.
And that's why he has 2
Oh.
sidekicks. You know, he's got Bucky and the new Falcon.
Uh
There we go.
huh.
And Bucky's like a super soldier.
Crickets.
Exactly. So you're gonna have Captain America, and his
Oh,
sidekick is gonna be more powerful. That's okay though.
Hey, that's like it is with Captain Marvel, basically. Anyways,
Yeah, but nobody likes that.
Damn.
no one likes that
Damn.
either.
Damn.
Panda.
Oh, I'm excited for Blade. Looking forward to see what they do with that. I am with voices on. I will be carrying a box of tissues with me to Guardians because I'm not ready for the emotional roller coaster that one's gonna be.
It's gonna hit hard.
Mhm. Captain America. I'm interested because I want to see what they do. I want to see where Sam goes with Captain America.
Okay, same.
It'll be very good. Thunderbolts. I need to refresh my memory on the Thunderbolts because it's hazy.
It's
But I'm looking forward to-
several iterations. They're basically the MCU Suicide Squad.
Okay. As long as they do it right, I don't care. It'll be good. But I'm just looking forward to all the kind of all the movies minus. Well, I can't even say the Marvels because I don't really know. I didn't really care for Captain Marvel. I don't really know why they're trying to tie in Miss Marvel with it. Like that in credit scene threw me off completely.
Made no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I was just left confused. Like why?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might see it just for keep up purposes. But other than that one, I'm
The Marvels.
the Marvels.
Oh.
I might just watch it just to keep up with timeline kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm starting to like not keep up with things as much anymore. Like phase 1 through 4, I was on it. Like you'll
Yeah.
catch me at the premiere of every single
yeah.
one of those.
Oh, yeah.
You know, don't even hesitate. Phase 4, at the start, I was excited, but then the excitement died down because of
Mhm.
what we saw was coming. The rest of phase 4, as well as phase 5, kind of is establishing I don't need to go see
Yeah.
everything. And I'm not going to see everything.
True.
But yeah, the Thunderbolts I'm excited for as well. I forgot about Ant-Man. That one I'm also excited
Yes.
for from the trailer that was
Exactly.
leaked. It's going to be really good. And I hope it's a darker story. It looks like it will be, but I want that one to be because nothing wrong with Ant-Man being funny. I loved how funny it was. And the second one,
It's
literally,
time for it to take a serious turn.
the ending was literally just to establish Infinity War. That was it.
Yeah.
But the third one, the Quantumania,
Quantumania.
Quantumania.
whatever. I want this one to be a serious story. Obviously,
Mhm.
with the funny bits, it's Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
You can't not have it. But I want this one to be a little bit darker. Like, I want this to be what Winter Soldier was for Captain America. You know what I
Very
mean?
true.
Because I loved Winter Soldier. I think that's one of my favorite MCU movies. And the first one was good. It established the origin. The second one really hit your feels, in my opinion. I think it hit the feels and it really built a lot and showed a lot about Sam. Not Sam, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Captain America. It showed a lot about him as a person, his dedication to his friends. It showed Bucky's struggle, and it really tied in Hydra in a lot more of a serious role than what we saw with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as they were like, they're just kind of there. Well, we already established
Yeah.
it isn't canon, but you guys know what I mean. I'm using it as a reference. But it really put Hydra at like the pinnacle of just like they're really bad. They will do what they can to succeed. And I want Quantumania to do something like that. Put Ant-Man in his place, show he's not all
Exactly.
that's cracked up to be. And really put Kang, the fear of Kang, in the MCU.
Yeah.
Nova, last but not least.
Nice.
Save the best for last, man.
So what's it called? So all right, Guardians of the Galaxy, man. What's it called? I love that movie franchise, man. Guardians is like music is always bopping,
Always.
comical, but like not like Marvel kind of
MCU
funny. They
standard.
do, yeah, they do like
Mhm.
their own funny, like dirty funny, and you know what I mean, like ones
Yeah.
that like if you're hanging out with your friends, like those kind of jokes you probably crack, not like in the office and you try and not get reported to your manager or something like that. Like yeah, like you know what I mean. They can like play with each other, they're cool, and like you can tell, man, they a family, and I love that. You know,
Family.
so man, going into 3, it's gonna be rough. All right,
Very.
fellas, we gotta be strong.
Be strong, boys.
When we sit down, trust me. Hey, and I won't be honest, man. When I saw Tony die, I had a tear come down my face, man.
Yep.
I was like, man,
hurt.
I like have flashbacks of me seeing like the first Iron Man. I'm like, oh my gosh, Tony's so cool. I love Iron Man. And then I just see him just like, I'm like, what? No, dude, I was dying. So
Mhm.
going in the Guardians, man, what's it
Uh,
called? This is what we need. It's not healthy, but this is this is what we need.
It's not-
You know what I mean?
It's not healthy at all.
But I'm so hyped for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, man. Blade, I love Blade. Blade's so cool. I'm hella hyped for Blade. Like, what's it called? He's another one of those like, you know, kind of like a Deadpool. Doesn't play by the rules. Can be a little dirty.
Yeah, a little
Whatever needs to be
murder in the
done.
blood raining club underground kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what I mean? So I love Blade. I'm glad they bring, Blade. Blade's a little bit older. A little older movie stuff like that. So I'm glad they're bringing it back. I love me some Blade. Um, what else we got? Captain America. Um, I'm gonna watch it just because it says Captain America. That's the only reason,
That's the
probably.
extent of my interest.
Yep, that's about it. I love Captain America. So, what I mean? It's probably the name that they're like, yeah, make sure that's in bold, just in case Nova doesn't see it.
Yeah,
But
of
yeah, I'll,
course.
I'll probably watch. Yeah,
Exactly.
Captain
Specifically for you.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Only
yeah,
for
I'll,
Nova.
I'll see just the end part and be like, what is this? I have no idea. Let's see. We said Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
next.
I'm not familiar with that, so I can't. You know what I mean? I don't know. So
I don't
if
know.
if I did some research and I figured
I
out
might be.
who and all that stuff is, then yeah, I'll probably watch Thunderbolts. It sounds cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll watch that if I research on, what I am to expect. Let's see. What
There's
up?
the Marvels and then Ant-Man. I forgot to write that down.
Ant-Man, I'm hyped for it. I love Ant-Man. Like y'all talking about. He a great, funny haha. You know what I mean? And stuff like
Funny.
he's a funny haha. I love Ant-Man. Um, but yeah, the kind of like Guardians, you in the beginning you get get familiar with the character, you can have some laughs, and then just like Guardians, eventually we gotta get serious, dog. You know what I mean? Life ain't, all cupcakes and rainbows. Eventually shit gonna hit the fan.
Oh, some
Yep.
So,
cupcakes.
you know, it's gonna happen. We're gonna have some chuckles. We're gonna be cry laughing probably. For both Guardians and and what's it called? But
And
and
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. So I'm excited for Ant-Man as well.
Mhm.
Marvels. I mean, it's gonna be another movie.
It's gonna be a movie.
Another movie gonna come out. That's
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, dog. They might try to advertise the hell out of it, maybe like
They
She-Hulk,
they
and then
probably will.
because they oversaturated the hell of it, maybe we'll be like, all right, we'll give it a chance, because that was me with She-Hulk. I was like, I kept on just seeing She-Hulk, 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 and I was like, I'll give in and watch it, and Marvel got me. You know what I mean?
Got you.
I watched
Line
the
and
first two
sinker.
episodes.
Right.
You got me. Not saying I'm like in love with I don't know. In love with She-Hulk. I'm at the show. But what's it called?
Here's let me clarify real quick.
Me and She-Hulk is a different conversation.
It's another fantasy
But
I don't want to explore right now.
yeah, the show. I'm interested at least. I like the tie-ins, but yeah, Marvel's you got some advertisement to put out there, Marvel. Mickey Mouse get some money in the advertisement department on that one.
Yeah. And
That's my 2 cents.
speaking of what Marvel needs to do, they got to advertise not a whole lot for Phase 6. We only have 3 movies established.
Confirmed, at least.
Yeah, confirmed. We're going to 100% have a bunch more, as well as a bunch of other shows. But we have currently is Fantastic Four, Avengers Kang Dynasty, which will be the next iteration of the Avengers, the next movie for them, and Avengers Secret Wars. This phase will also end, I believe it ends the multiverse saga. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's also going to have Kang as the big bad, as we've been seeing. And as I've mentioned earlier, he's been around for us since Phase 4. He's obviously been around the entire time, but So the Kang Dynasty as the next Avengers movie is going to be freaking awesome. I am worried that 1 year later we're getting Secret Wars. I don't feel like that's enough build up, especially since Fantastic Four is also in the same phase, and that's the first, movie that we're gonna see of them. Unless, kind of like what Voices was saying earlier, we see some, if not all, of the Fantastic Four in Agatha if they go with that storyline. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how they're going to have the Fantastic Four be the first time we see them, and then we get Secret Wars, just a couple years later. Like, there's it's a pretty big storyline. This is going to be the one with Doctor Doom essentially taking over the universe. He becomes the god and he rewrites everything to his will, And
He does.
you got to like establish
Mhm.
the rivalry and the animosity between Reed and Victor Von Doom, We will see him in Phase 4 in a certain forever Wakanda movie. I'm not gonna say what, but we'll at least see him then. So maybe they just do a lot of teasers for the Fantastic Four throughout the rest of Phase 4 and 5. Or maybe they'll do the first iteration of Secret Wars and it's actually, not Doctor Doom. Who knows? But I'm excited for all three of these movies. I want them to be good. I really do. Kang Dynasty, I don't see how they're going to mess that up. Fantastic Four and Secret Wars are the only ones that kind of have some concerns about. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. Voices, you're antsy. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so one thing. Saw this a while ago, and I just checked it because I was like, I don't know if it's confirmed. It is confirmed. The X-Men contracts aren't even up until 2025. That's the first time we will see any of the actual X-Men in the MCU unless they use the people from Fox. So the people that were already casted from Fox, they had a caveat in their contracts that no one can play those characters until 2025. So if we want any Xaviers, we want any Wolverine, we want anything like that, has to be to 2025. Deadpool didn't count because Ryan Reynolds was based on a contract and he wasn't part of the X-Men franchise. So he is completely fine to go in, especially because he was one of the main sign-ons for the Fox contract. But that could also be the reason why they're doing Secret Wars, because we get Fantastic Four, and then the Fantastic Four is kind of what helps us into the Kang Dynasty. Kang Dynasty then starts to spark something else. After that is when we spark the X-Men into the whole strategy, and then just the X-Men starts pulling in with Secret Wars. We also don't know what Sony's plans are. Sony's releasing a bunch of half-assed movies.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
They're
pretty
not
bad
going to
movies.
do well whatsoever.
And so who knows what they'll try to do with that to maybe pull those in and also have that be part of Secret Wars. And I mean, there's even talks about them bringing back Andrew Garfield, making a third one, having him be part of the symbiote pulling him in, and then him also be part of Secret Wars. So there's like so many different options with Secret Wars. I think 2025 is going to be super loaded, and I do think it's going to be too much. But at the same time, if they're going out with a bang, I want them to go out with a bang, and I don't care who the casualties are, as long as I just feel oversaturated. I really do. If I'm oversaturated,
no survivors.
If I get through, I mean, if the Kang Dynasty ends and it's like, okay, now it's going to be crazy, and they're like, hey, just Marvel alone has 5 more movies coming out before Secret Wars, and then Sony also has 2 movies or something like that. Like, if there's 8 or 9 movies, like 1 movie coming out every single month almost, that all has to do with a superhero, and they're all going to be in Secret Wars, it's going to be a lot, but I won't even care. Because it's like, if you're ending it, I don't want 2 movies that year. I don't want 3 movies that year. I don't want 2 movies in like 6 shows. I want to be going to the theaters. And I want to be watching every single one of those. I'll pay for it as long as I know that's what it's leading up to. So that's my take on it. And I think the X-Men contract thing is definitely something that is the reason why Secret Wars is 2025.
That would make a lot of sense, honestly.
Dude, I actually kind of like that take. And I usually don't from you. No, I'm kidding. No, but
I've got a little bit of like the new age feel for movies, but then I also have like growing up with a dad who was hardcore comics. True. So it's like I have somebody that hates what's going on, and then I have a lot of people that love what's going on. And I'm in the fence because it's like there's 2 generations that this is hitting. And we're getting into the newer... Yeah, and we're getting into a newer generation that's liking all these superheroes, but at the same time, it's like you have some of the people that started in 2010. And I mean, even if you want to talk about the original like Spider-Mans and when Blades first started and stuff like that,
Yep.
those were all in like 2000s and the late 90s. So it's
Yep.
like you have 90s kids that, I mean, you're probably like 10 or 11 in the 90s who are growing up. Bro, they're sitting at 30 and 40 years old. They don't want to see Thor Love and Thunder where it's like, Stormbreaker is jealous. It's like, nah. They want to see Deadpool killing people. They want to see Kang beat the crap out of Ant-Man, and then like the Wasp sweep in to help, and then he like kill the Wasp or something crazy. That's what we want to
Oh,
see.
damn.
We're done with this mamby-pamby stuff. Like we want edgy. I want Secret Wars. I want half of the cast to die. I want half of the cast to die.
You know, I have a follow-up real quick on that.
Oh.
Maybe Phase 4. Oh, go ahead.
But I don't want half the cast to leave. I don't want, someone to go back in time and then grow old with their sweetheart. I don't want, I want people dying.
Damn.
I want people dying.
Damn.
So I do
I want to feel the way I felt with Nat. That's the type of feeling.
I have an
But I want
opinion
that
on
with
that.
half of the cast.
I think
And if it's less than half, I will not accept it.
No, I won't. I'll leave. I'll walk out.
I actually agree with him on this stance. Here's
It's
the thing.
end.
I've noticed that Marvel went, they went like serious and then serious dark, and then they've been going comical. And now lately they've been going more back to the serious dark, especially with Phase 5. Like we have Secret Invasion, we know Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be heartfelt. We have Blade, we have Daredevil. We have a lot more of this serious, and we have Deadpool 3 coming out whenever. But we have more of the serious and darker stories coming out. And then with Phase 6, you have Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars in the same phase. I agree. I think whoever these Avengers cast, or whoever the main cast is, they should die. And I mean dead. I don't mean like in the comics where they're dead and it's like, oh, they're actually back because of some other random reason. No, they need to be like dead. And have it like impactful. Someone we've been growing with since whenever. Having Hawkeye sacrifice himself to save Kate. That could be a cool thing. Passing the torch officially. And we all know that relationship's really cool. I love their dynamic anyways. That's just an example. But having something like that happen, having Bucky die too, that could be really, really impactful because we all love Bucky as a character and Sebastian Stan as an actor. Or heck, having just important characters die, either because they're sacrificing themselves, which always is impactful, or because they're showing like, hey, Doctor Doom literally doesn't play around. He will just snap your neck because you're in his way. Or Kang's like, you guys are all beneath me, so I'm going to evaporate you. Something like that.
So I saw something really cool, and somebody was talking about Secret Wars, and they were like, the main thing that I want. And after hearing it, I was like, yeah, this is it. I just want this. And if this is in it, it will be my favorite Avengers movie of all time. I want Thor to die and Gore's daughter, like the eyes spark and you see Gore's eyes. And I want her to kill many people. Like, obliterates, because she's gonna be pretty powerful. And I mean, if she's got the god killing, because she does have that, doesn't she? No, she doesn't.
Don't know. It's not confirmed that she has any of that.
Exactly.
But that could be something that could be established.
Stuff like that. But like that's the type of thing that I want. I want stuff that is dark. And like I want characters to snap. I want it's Secret Wars. It's the end. Don't make it heartfelt. It's not. We don't want it heartfelt.
Phase 6
I don't
want really dark and brutal. I agree.
I don't want them to end Secret Wars and then it be like, oh, they could go somewheres from here. I want them to end Secret Wars and be like, that's it. Like, book closed, put it in the pot.
And then they come back with movies like, what, there's more? Because they're not going to stop.
Yeah.
No, because they're not going to stop.
I know, but after Secret Wars, I'm pretty much done. Like, that's it.
But I agree with you on that stance, though, that they should have it so it's like the only thing you could think of next is they're just going to do the X-Men movies. Like they have it to the point where almost everyone's dead.
Well, and that could be what they do. Like they kill off a majority of the Avengers, and now the X-Men and some of the Fantastic Four have to be the new have to be the new keepers. Like stuff like that, where it's like, okay, we're good with all of, like, we've dealt with Iron Man, we've got all of the gods, we've got all of Thor, and we could even start seeing like a big battle with gods and a lot
Yeah.
of the Avengers too. I mean, Thor kind of set that up for it. Like,
Exactly.
there's definitely an opportunity where it's like, imagine a bunch of gods pissed off at the Avengers because they keep changing stuff. It's like, what if a lot of the gods intended for Thanos to do that? What if that was necessary? But then they were like, no, we don't want that. Now they're like, okay, we got to fix something in this
Dude,
universe.
and imagine the Celestials being in play too. We forgot about the fact, like, even though how you feel about Eternals is regardless. The ending of it and the end credits for it does set up for a lot of interesting stories.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
we
It
could
really
totally
does.
see that in Phase 6, and heck, there could do the whole that sequel could be the raid on like the Celestials hideout or their world, and that could tie in directly with Secret Wars, and we'll see like a Celestial or two be like, you guys are getting in our way, you guys are interfering too much, we need to stop this.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, so that was our
I just need a
takes.
close. I need a closed book. I need a closed book for Secret Wars.
Panda,
then
what
just
do you
move
got,
on.
man?
I agree with voices here. I needed to be brutal. I needed to be absolutely fucking brutal, honestly.
He dropped the
Um,
F-bomb. He really means it.
honestly, I hope that all three of them are good. I really do. Also, I share a point with Zeus here of like one trailer, very minimal information, and done.
That's all
Do
you need.
not over saturate
Yeah.
the trailers. Do not overdo it on the trailers, because you will lose. You will lose me there. Honestly,
The trailers
I don't
spoil
know.
too much. They just need to do
If
one,
they do.
maybe two, and then that's it.
I do agree with the fact that if you're gonna make this the end of it, kill them. Just kill them off. Don't have them come back in any type of way. Like, no mysteriousness, no nothing. Just kill them.
And then it was actually
I'm even-
Mysterio
Be
the
done.
whole time controlling everything.
I'm even fine with them. I'm even fine with them like starting to throw, like, if you want to do like the multiverse, like cheap cameos and stuff like that. Like, there's always been talks about the Supreme Iron Man being Tom Cruise. Throw him in there.
Mhm.
Let him get his
Please.
head blown off. I don't
Please.
care.
Exactly.
Like, stuff like that, where it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be an epic battle, and then it's just like, oh my gosh, there's body parts everywhere. That person's losing. Where's that person's eye? Like, that's what I want to feel. I want to be so
Yeah.
shook by this movie that I'm just like, that I walk out of the theater and be like, oh, what? Like,
It's
that's what I'm going for.
it's funny to me though that you mentioned that, but then you bash the cameos in multiverse,
Ooh,
because that's
a fair
literally what those
point.
cameos were.
That is true.
Yeah, but the main reason why is
Yeah.
because none of those movies had any like there was no lead ups, and there wasn't a necessity for it, and you could have easily started introducing like a bunch of randomness. Like, I mean, it would have been interesting to see Tom Cruise's Iron Man on there. I wouldn't have, like, if he would have died again, I would have called it cheap, because that movie didn't need it. Like, you were introducing a new character. You had a character that was dealing with the multiverse. You had a witch that was trying to take over the entire universe so she could get her kids. Take that
I'm
and do with
interested
that
into
what
that.
you will. Like, I don't really see a need
Yeah.
why cameos were necessary with a bunch of fan casting that everyone had wanted for so long. And I mean, that also showed that they do have those contracts still locked in, because Xavier was still Xavier like that.
But to be
And,
honest,
like,
you
that's
can't really
kinda the whole
complain
thing.
about that because he's
Yeah.
perfect.
And I thought it was, I did enjoy seeing Peggy Carter there. That was kind of funny. I
Yeah.
mean, that's probably the only tie-in to What If that I would have seen.
She's so
And
wifey.
even in that, I was just like, oh, she's dead. Okay.
And she's gone.
I was honestly
Yeah.
surprised she'd last that long in general.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
100%.
And like, the Captain Marvel was funny because I was just like, okay, like, all right.
I was like,
sure.
you're gonna get destroyed. Like, just stop. The
And
only
then the
one that
Immortals
really took me
guy,
off
or
guard
what-
was Professor X.
whatever his
That was
name
it.
is.
Are you talking about
Yeah.
Black Bolt?
But yeah, Black Bolt.
Dude, that one was. I was
something
like,
where I was just like,
she's like,
that
how you gonna do
was
that without a
brutal.
mouth? And I was like, oh snap, that's
Yeah.
a fair point.
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's
But-
I want crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I want out of the out of this world fucking crazy at this point. I don't know.
And I'd be fine with the cameos there because that's the it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's the end. I know they're not making a new Fantastic Four after that. If they are making one and they make a new one, and then you have like Reed Richards, like Krasinski's and his wife be Sue Storm, and like the OG. Heck, bring Chris Evans back. Throw him in his Human Torch. I don't care. I want to see them all die. I want to see every single thing.
I mean, I don't. I
Tobey
Bring him back to
disagree.
kill him.
I disagree in
Andrew
the sense
Garfield.
that they should end it there because I know they're not. But I think it'll be a cool way to close this chapter and start fresh with everyone because they have the rights to everyone, and it's basically how the comics work.
Exactly.
I think that's the way that they're probably going and should be going.
Okay, fair enough.
Nova.
Hello. So out of these, I am mostly on the fence about Fantastic Four. You know, things could happen that Marvel can definitely mess up.
Yeah.
But King Dynasty and Secret Wars should be can't mess that up. You know what I mean? Well, I mean you can't mess it up.
This is
But-
Disney we're talking about. Let's slow down a second.
Yeah, they can definitely mess it up. Okay. But I mean, you guys like said it right here for the last 10 minutes, man.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
We want you good. Like we need this, dog. We need the grit. We need the nasty. We
need that
you know what I
super
mean?
hot fire, dude.
Super hot fire. But I think, you know what I mean, and we talked about this. What's it called? What if Marvel, because they're Marvel, they what if'd it?
Hold
They're
on a
like
second.
everyone just dies. Everyone just dies, and the Watcher's just like, "Yo, that's like." He turns his TV off, and he's like, "Whoa, that's crazy!"
Dude.
And then we actually go to the actual.
I would
what's it
be
called?
so mad.
Oh.
I would
Also,
literally
here's
walk
the
out
thing.
of the
All
theater
that-
if that happened. I swear. I
That would
promise.
That would remind me of how bent like all the people that watched. All the people that read the Twilight series, the last thing where it was like the giant fight, bunch of people died, and then it was like, guess what? That's not at all what happened.
Yeah.
That was all in his head, and he
Yeah.
doesn't want to fight anymore because he doesn't want to see these people die. And you're like, what? Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
What was that?
That's my same reaction after watching that scene. I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me? None of that stuff actually happened. What was the point?" Like
I can't relate to this one.
Oh my god.
You don't need to. Like,
Yeah,
I
was
don't
that-
recommend watching it at all. But I
I'm
had,
on-
and I
I'm
was
on
just
it.
like, what?
I would be so pissed if that's what happened.
Same.
However,
Same.
that would be freaking hilarious. I would be so
That
mad.
would.
I would chuckle and be upset while I walk out of the theater with my popcorn. There you go.
I would have just thrown the popcorn. Like, I would have like, nothing matters.
Well, no, I don't want. They're
Make
gonna have
that
to clean
scene
up.
too.
They're gonna have to clean up after that. That's no.
Do it. They let that actually go into a theater.
They-
Do it. They're cleaning it up.
They didn't give us a warning ahead of time.
They
just
know what
started
they're
to clean it up.
No. I would need that to be spoiled early. I would need that to be spoiled early.
No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna do the whole thing they did with Endgame, where it's like, don't spoil anything, don't say anything, and then you're gonna go in and you're like, click, and it's Jeffrey Wright, just like, wow, that was crazy. You guys remember when I was Gordon in the Batman? Man, that was crazy too. Let's go back to what's actually going on. And it's like Xavier
Just fourth
Magneto
wall break
playing
after fourth
chess
wall
or
break.
something.
Deadpool, he just turns it off and goes, "That was horseshit," and then just leaves.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how they would
Damn.
save it. That's how they could save it. It's
And
just
then-
like
Just one good
man.
Deadpool fourth wall break, and we're good.
Yep, he's like, that
Mhm.
was horseshit.
And then Deadpool 3.
yes, and then Deadpool
Yeah.
3 is like
Yeah,
a
that's
month
the-
later or something.
yes.
Dude, that
And the
was-
opening
Damn.
monologue is just like, remember that horseshit movie that you just saw? Well, this isn't that.
they did that on purpose so that you would actually enjoy this one. Because you probably wondered, how are they going to release one movie when they have 2 Avengers movies coming out the same year? I know how. Make them bad.
Damn.
Dude, that would be hilarious. I would actually be on board
I'd
with
be
that.
bent, but I'm now happy. Yeah, I'd be
Exactly.
bent, but I'd be happy.
It's so I'd be
Just
so torn on
confused,
how I
like,
feel.
Deadpool saves everything.
Just like, yeah.
Just like
do I
slug-
clap? Do I leave?
Yeah.
Do I not? What do I do?
I'm still crying. Like, what's going on?
I need instructions.
I need an adult.
Like, so thinking about it, this is what I need for the Avengers. So Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, I need it to be as well written, and I need him to be as well written as Ultron was, except not killing him off in the same the same time.
I agree with
Because
that.
Ultron was a really well written character,
He was great.
but
Killed off too early.
yeah, they
I
tricked him.
still
with that.
don't think that he's actually gone, to be honest. I really
I don't know,
hope
there's
that he's
something to
not,
it.
because it seemed too easy.
Well, let me ask you this though. Isn't Ultron technically White Vision now?
No.
No.
Okay.
That
I thought that's how they did that.
No, that's still
Jarvis.
Vision. It's just he's
Yeah, it's not Jarvis.
it's not. It's
Okay.
it's Vision, like, but he's void of like anything that made him Vision.
Of the
But
feelings.
he still
and everything like that.
remembers. That's the thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now there could be a cool
And it
story
was-
where Ultron returns and he tries to take over White Vision, as his new body or something. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, people.
But and
Yeah,
then Secret Wars, I need it to have
Destruction.
the feeling that I had of entertainment with No Way Home, not the plot. And I needed to
Not the
have
plot.
Not the plot. The enjoyment, but not
The
the plot.
I needed to
Nostalgia.
have the plot feel and the plot amaze of Infinity War and Endgame, and I need the ending to feel like Infinity War with a sprinkle of Endgame ending. That's what I need.
Okay.
So you
I think that's
basically
it.
want Infinity War Endgame plus the nostalgia of No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I want every single
How
superhero,
about-
and I want
But it needs to be as
I
brutal
want this
as
to be a
Logan. How about that?
$1
It needs to be
billion
as brutal
dollar
as Logan.
yes,
There you go.
$1 billion
Yeah.
budget. $1 billion budget.
Yeah.
Every single person that has ever been in anything. I want cameos from everyone. Yep.
I want a
thing is-
2-second cameo and then their death.
The thing is,
All
too,
of
the
them
Russo
should die.
brothers said they would come back for Secret Wars. So when I saw that, I was like, maybe they will return. I don't know if I want them to. However, they did very well with Infinity War and Endgame, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities that they can do Secret Wars really well. But it is going to take a lot. If they went the voices route and did all them cameos, that's going to be a long production. However, it's Marvel. They should be able to have
good
the
with a
budget and
4-hour
time to do
movie.
it. I mean,
I'm good with Secret Wars being 4 hours, 4.5 hours. I don't even care.
I don't see it.
Exactly.
I don't see that happening. Maybe 2:45. If it's 3 hours, I would be content. I would be good. But yeah, no, but we interrupted you again, man.
Oh no, that
The title's gonna be Does Nova Have Thoughts?
Question mark.
question. I mean, I was just throwing in the what if scenario, but other than that, I mean, I think we pretty much summed up what we want from these.
You keep
three,
sparking
you know
debates
what I
with
mean?
us, man, and ideas.
You really do.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's my job.
But yeah, the multiverse saga. That's basically what we just went over. There is Werewolf by Night in Phase 4, which we didn't even mention because it's also just like out there. It's
a Halloween special.
Yeah. I only think it's cool because one, the story is pretty interesting, and two, it's Ludwig can never pronounce his last name, but it starts with a G, and it's the guy that composed like The Mandalorian and Creed. Anyways, it's his directorial debut, so that should be interesting. Maybe it'll have a tie-in with Blade because werewolf. That'll be cool. Maybe it'll have a tie-in with Moon Knight because werewolf, or both. Also would be cool.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be centered around is Moon Knight and this.
Supposedly.
Like even when I looked at
Okay.
Well, I mean, even when I looked it up, like that was what every single thing was saying was like it's how Moon Knight interacts with this whole werewolf.
Yeah, because in
thing.
Moon Knight
Okay.
there was a QR code that you scanned, and it was the Werewolf by Night storyline with him. So
Yep.
that's what it should be. But like I said, this is
What
Disney
the hell?
Marvel, so
When
we
was-
don't. It's episode 1 when
Yeah.
when they're going past in the museum, and he goes to talk to the girl. Right before he talks to the girl, there's a QR code on the wall. If you scan it, it pulls up a picture of that first issue of Werewolf by Night.
Then it'll do
There you guys
that.
go.
Never noticed that.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really small cameos in there that were like references to a lot of other previous things. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think they'll pull a Sony where it's like, oh, the Morbius trailer has a picture of Spider-Man saying murderer and then just never talk about it. I don't think they'll do that.
Dude, did it seriously never talk about that like at all?
Oh no,
I
not
never
at
saw
all.
the movie, so
Oh yeah,
Not
not at all. No,
Bro,
not at
it
all.
really
I
is
believe it.
Morbin time.
Yeah. That was okay. To put it into perspective, there were
I
10
hate
of us
you for
that all
that.
went to see that not the night it came out, but the Friday that it came out.
Why?
And literally we texted in our group chat the entire movie. We were second row. Everyone saw our phones. We texted each other jokes about how bad the movie was the entire time.
Dude, it looked bad from the trailer.
Let me see. I could actually probably pull it.
Oh
It was
my
terrible.
gosh.
It was terrible.
joke time with
More-
voices.
Literally. But I think that's really it for our predictions and thoughts for the rest of Phase 4, Phase 5, and Phase
Phase
6.
6 is going to be a lot of death. I hope.
Well, we don't know that. It should be. That is our speculation, but there's no confirmation on that.
I said I hope.
Agreed. Yeah, I hope as well. I would like that.
Yeah.
And it would be
Yep.
a cool way to get the X-Men in there since their contracts would be up. That'd be nice. I mean, heck, even if we get some of the original cast to come back to reprise their roles, like, beforehand, that'd be cool. But, yeah, I think that's really going to wrap it up for this episode here. We're going to try to do this every other week. Posting on Wednesdays is the plan. If you guys
Nice.
have any like thoughts or want to hear us talk or debate about something, because obviously we can get pretty split on some things. You know, like what if, for example. But you know, let us
What
know.
if doesn't matter.
Let us know in the comments.
Hey.
Hit our Twitter at Block Party
Watch
Fun,
him now.
and on Instagram is the same. But yeah, I'm Captain Zeus. That's Nova Burst, the voices, and Relatable
I'm
Panda are, I guess, reoccurring guests, full-time people, almost, kind of. I'm full-time.
Sort of.
It's you'll see me here almost every
Full-time
time.
kid.
So regardless, you'll see this.
Just him and
lovely-
some of his buddies.
Yes, they're all my buddies. They're family.
We're just the sidekicks.
Well, one of them literally is.
And it's the one you wouldn't suspect.
Yeah, it's totally not like, you know, the black guy. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. See ya. Bang, bang.
Bye.